They help us realize what we're willing to accept. You are not the only person who wants a relationship. Find someone who aligns with you. Hey, it's me. So, I was thinking about situationships, and I've been in a few of them. And if you aren't familiar with the term, a situationship, it's more than a friendship, but less than a relationship. So, some situations have occurred or continue to occur, but a commitment is never formed. To me, it just feels like the ultimate gray area. They start out normal. You meet someone, you talk, hang out, date, you get to know each other, start spending more time together to the point where you possibly become intimate or at least start to catch feelings. It may be more on the casual side where you just hang out, or it may be heavy on the dating side where you've met their friends and family. Two things that commonly happen in both scenarios: there are gaps in communication where one person disappears for some time and is unresponsive, and there is one person who definitely does not want to be tied down. At some point, there may have been an actual conversation, or you're just going with the flow. This topic is going to be directed towards the person who wants the relationship, aka my younger self many years ago. So, one of the things I really dislike about situationships are you're kind of a placeholder. If someone is saying they don't know if they want to move forward, being stagnant is actually an answer. And I'm not talking about someone you dated for like 2 weeks. If someone takes 1 or 2 months before making a decision to commit, I feel like that's fair. But I'm speaking more so like it's been 5, 6, 7 months, or maybe it's been 1, 2, 3 years, and they still want to go with the flow. Or they straight up told you they don't want a relationship. So you're in this confusing gray area, secretly unhappy, but you like this person. So you sacrifice your desires in the hope that they recognize that you're the prize. You put their feelings over your own, but long term wishes don't turn into a commitment. One person usually is single while the other acts exclusive. Both are really single, but let the person who wants a relationship start dating, the other person will probably get jealous, even though the reason it hasn't evolved into one is because they don't want the commitment. Now, if you notice, I haven't said he or she because really it could go both ways depending on who the person is that wants more. So let's say you've been in this situationship for a year. What would be the benefit for them to have a relationship? They have the best of both worlds. If they want to go on a date with someone else, they can because they're single. Even if they're sleeping with you, technically, they're single. You guys never agreed to a commitment, not even technically. Situationship. And if you feel upset about it, they'll likely dose you with the actuality. No matter how much it may feel like you are together, you aren't together. A commitment just offers a restraint that they don't want to be in. People will treat you how you allow them to. You've become complacent in the situationship, and you may think, well, they're nice to me. They take me out to dinner. We talk on the phone almost every day. First, who are you lying to, me or yourself? Because it's not me. The hard thing about complacency is we get comfortable in the uncomfortable. It reminds me something I heard about how people will choose familiar misery over foreign happiness. You have to choose. Would you rather have a relationship that's fun, easy, and stays the same, or one that's honest, hard, and gross? I think a common misconception is if you don't want to be with them, they're bad or they've treated you badly. But it's not always that black and white. They can treat you just fine, but don't allow yourself to remain in something that doesn't serve you. Indifference is an answer. I don't fully believe that you have to feel whole and healed to find the right person to come into your life. But the person that does come into your life, they can be detrimental to your path. Some people come into your life and they provide enlightenment and healing, while others don't. Simply ask yourself, are they hurting or are they healing? And do you want to continue on a path of hurt? I've been there myself with someone because you like them and you want them to like you as much as you like them. You get caught in your feelings when you're around them. You get that happy feeling, that little excitement, and that tingle in your chest. But when you're not around them, you wonder where they are, what they're doing. You don't want to be with anyone else, but you're not actually together. And your heart sinks a little, but you just push it away. You question yourself, why won't they be with me? Am I not good enough? Do they feel like I'm not successful enough? Is it because of money? Is it because of my looks? You start running down this imaginary list and then you catch yourself because you know it's not true. But at the same time, you can't deny the way it's making you feel. Do you really want to remain in a situation that results in those type of feelings, creating doubts within yourself? Or do you want to take accountability for your own decision and do what's best for you? You don't have to remain here in this blissful ignorance, pushing away the reality at hand. They don't want a relationship, and you don't know if they ever will. And this isn't benefiting you. It's just a constant reminder of what you don't have and what you actually do want. You have to enforce your standard and determine your limit. Is this situation sustainable? Do they have the qualities you want in a long term partner? When you first think of them, how do you feel? Is it good? Or do you feel that sinking feeling? You may only feel it for 2 seconds because you're pushing it away. And if you realize it or not, it's probably tearing at your self esteem or your worth or the value that you place on yourself. Maybe you've been in situationships often before and you just feel like this is the best that it can get for you. You may want better, but you've lost faith. And I think part of it is you have to get used to living in the unknown. Take the picture out of your mind of all of the potential and live in the reality that you've been going nowhere fast. Ask yourself, if nothing ever changes, are you okay being in a situationship 5 or 10 years from now? The unknown you need to live in says, I want more, so I ended it. I don't know who I'm going to date next or what my future love life will be, that I will choose myself over fearful wishes, the fear of being alone, the fear of starting over, the fear of the unknown. You have to enforce what you want. Any type of relationship or situationship, they're our biggest teacher, especially long-term ones. They help us realize who we are, what we want, and what we're willing to accept. If you don't feel loved, valued, worthy, and cared for, why continue to be there? It reminds me of something else I saw on a show, Love Island, actually. And one of the people on there was saying how sometimes God puts people in our lives not to change our lives, but for us to change something within ourselves. The reality is, you are not the only person who wants a relationship. Find someone who aligns with you instead of feeling like you're forcing someone else to match your wants or waiting an eternity for them to change their mind. Don't let the feelings of not feeling good enough slip into your head. A quote, if I can't be on the same page with someone else, then that simply means I picked up the wrong book. You'll never be good enough for the wrong person. In my Melissa Fredericks voice, you are enough as is without change. Now, don't move forward and give no ultimatum. No, that's not what I'm saying. But enforce your standard. Let them know you're no longer willing to continue the situation without a commitment. If it's been 7 months or maybe 2 years, They probably won't take you seriously, and they aren't easily going to let you go. You have to enforce it. You are the main character in your life. Stop playing back fiddle to your own emotions. It doesn't take that long to know if you want a relationship with someone. So, a while back, I was in this webinar where women got to ask a group of men on a panel questions about like relationship and dating. And I don't remember the exact situation, but someone was basically in a situationship, and this was the response. Some men will push things as long as you allow them to push things. If he can have you in a situationship for 5 years, he will because it works for him. He can't provide you with a plan if he doesn't have one or see you in it, because he can slow things down and not progress. If he enjoys your time, he'll stay in that place. Make sure you have your own identity and that you are not so caught up in his that you lose yourself. Point being, don't let their fear of a commitment override what you want for yourself. Do you want a relationship that grows? Because if you can't grow together, then you may need to grow apart. Don't let their smooth words put you back into a situationship that you've always been in. It reminds me of this TED Talk, and there was a lady, I'm going to summarize it because I don't fully remember, but she was with a guy for like 10 or 12 years. She wanted them to move in together, get a house, and get married, but he didn't, and he always brushed it off. Over time, eventually, he agreed to view a house with her, but the day of the house viewing, he didn't show up. After all this time, she decided that she was done. She broke it off with him, and she moved to a completely different state and started over. Within 1 year, she met the man who is now her husband. The decision on how you want to move forward is up to you, but just realize it is your decision. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because nothing's really easy when you have your emotions and your feelings at play. But is it really any better staying in something that doesn't serve you? So I'm going to end in a quote. Commitment is the transportation method that takes a relationship from surface to depth. When you're committed, you'll make adjustments. When you're interested, you'll make excuses. Thanks for listening.